Hey everyone, it's Michael and
Matt
and
Ruben
from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, bringing you
Friday, officially,
Friday.
legitimately.
In fact, this is the Friday of kind of a long weekend.
Yeah, it is. I would get on board with that. Absolutely. And why is that, Michael?
Because next Friday, we're not going to be live streaming.
Why not?
Why not? Why ever would we not?
Well, we have this. I thought it was, I kind of grew up with the public holiday for the horse race, and I kind of tolerated that.
We're starting him off with a rant.
Exactly.
What have we
Yeah,
done?
here's a soapbox.
We're having a public holiday for a grand final parade. We're not even having it for the grand final. It's just the
It's
parade.
grand final adjacent.
At least this year's slightly better. I think last year we might have, but at least one of the years, but possibly two of the years during COVID, we had the public holiday and the parade wasn't even in our state.
Yeah,
This
look,
is the hottest live stream start we've ever had.
Oh, just like, I'm all for a holiday, like a day off. I've got no issue with that. But for the grand final parade, seriously?
Well, it is what it is, You take them where you can get them.
Yeah, I know, but it's just a...
I was gonna say, your staff are grateful, but
Well, I was going to say, it's a different story, yeah. When you're running the business, it's not quite as exciting, is it?
Even as an employee, like when I was with another company, when I was flying, I used to scratch my head over this one, but...
Hang on, there's a question. You don't really get public holidays if you're flying a plane, do you?
Sort of. You get other benefits because of it.
Ah.
So, yeah. But no, and then you got to work out which public holiday you're taking. Which state, which country.
Oh, yeah. Something else to factor in. Depends where you are.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. We're coming out swinging. I told you, Ruben. I said it was going to be a good
straight
stream.
in with a poll. He just needs to learn his proper...
capitals and whatnot.
Yeah, capitals.
Here we go.
Good private school education there, Rubes. Okay, I actually missed what it's not a grand final holiday. That I actually wouldn't have an issue with. It's a grand final parade holiday.
it's still linked.
It is.
It's
not.
the grand. No,
It's
but
nothing to do with it.
Oh, and the problem is, a lot of people from overseas and interstate, of course you don't want us to have a public holiday. Well,
no.
the votes are coming in thick and fast.
Yeah, look, I'm a definite no on this one. I just think it's
what would you replace it with?
a grand final public holiday.
But on the
What if the
Saturday,
grand
which is
final's on
already
the
a weekend.
Yeah.
So what?
What do you mean? Well,
If you're gonna
call
have
it the grand final then. That's what I'm calling it. Calling it
Have
the
a
grand final
holiday.
public holiday.
Have a holiday to, I don't know, to raise funds for homelessness. Have a public holiday for, May the 4th. I'd support that one. Like to have a public holiday we're way off topic here and we're not going to stay very long.
Exactly, yeah.
But to have a public holiday for the grand final parade. Are you going to the parade?
No, I will not be going to the parade. I have
That's
no
exactly
interest
right.
whatsoever in the
There's
footy.
a parade.
You're proving my point. Like,
But I'm interested in a public holiday.
I just have a public holiday for something that's worth having a public holiday for. I'm not against the day being a public holiday. I'm against the reason for
Give me
it.
an example other than May the 4th of a public holiday that you would get excited for. Do you celebrate the Queen's birthday? Do you whip out a cake and sing happy birthday?
No, but we don't celebrate. Technically, we do celebrate the Queen's birthday. I have no problem with that because as a nation, we are part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
So that's an important part of it. I have no problem with the grand final. It's the fact that it's purely the parade, which is irrelevant to everyone.
Well, the votes are in. How are we looking there? 62% no dice. 37% yes.
Okay.
There's
I
probably-
still argue with your heading on there. I think it's wrong, and I think that's
Maybe
we're
you should
we're
write
here
your
for a
own
Bullion
heading.
channel.
This is, red hot intro. So if you're listening on Spotify, generally we discuss bullion, current events relating to bullion, and things that impact bullion.
And Bullion Now.
And Bullion Now. So as
Link
a
it back.
company, we generally, when we're not discussing public holiday theories,
Yeah, see, Fireworks Day. I'd support that one.
Diane's given you an opportunity to link it back to the business there. Question: with Friday being a holiday, are we still open for business on Saturday?
Yes, we are.
Ah.
Yeah, we're still going to open. We had that discussion this morning in the morning briefing, and we decided that we were going to still open on the Saturday, which I think is a good thing. So if you're actually coming into town for the grand final on the Saturday, come in a bit early and you can swing past Bullion Now.
Bullion Now, that's here.
I haven't had breakfast or lunch yet, so the brain's a little slippy today. Drop in and see the guys and pick up some good stuff and pick up anything you've got in storage that you're after.
Mike beat me to it. He asked a question that a topic that I was going to bring up, and that's the fact that you're actually here, Michael. We weren't thinking you were going to be here this week.
I should have sent you a photo of the snow, shouldn't I?
Lack thereof,
yeah,
perhaps.
it was like a patch about the size of our office, about the size of the shop, and 400 people all trying to fit on it with their skis and snowboards.
Right.
So, yeah, that didn't stick around for very long. We decided to come back into town, and believe it or not, I've been trying to take two of my boys four-wheel driving, and we kind of haven't been able to. Either the weather's beaten us or other things. So hopefully we're going this weekend to make up for the fact that we got no snow.
When there isn't, this may be a silly question, but when there's no snow at the snow, do people go mountain biking, or what do you do on the slopes? Do people still
during summer, you mean, or during winter still?
Yeah, like in the off season, if you go up to where there is typically snow.
There's heaps to do up in Baw. Actually, Mount Baw does it really, really well. They've really promoted their summer in the mountains thing really well. But yeah, there's bushwalking in there, mountain climbing, bushwalking type of scenarios, and mountain bike riding. That's where I was going with that one. But believe it or not, there's also the downhill skiers get organised. They're on...
Really?
I don't know if you've ever seen...
I think I have on the almost roller type things,
like little caterpillar tracks.
Yeah.
And they go up and down Mount Hotham over summer, which is just mind-blowing to see them ripping down the bitumen on these
feels incredibly dangerous.
They've got barely any serious protection on it. Anytime I see it, I just shake my head and turn away. I don't want to. I don't want to.
Potential outcome.
Yeah. It's an OH&S disaster, if you ask me. But each to their own. I fully support the fact that they do it. I think it's great. So there's heaps to do up there, and there's still the Jenny up there, which is the pub. General store.
Yep.
And that's great for a great feed there. Lots of good things to do during the holidays, including dodging bushfires.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Apparently we're in for a red hot, pun intended, I guess, red hot fire season. Yeah,
I still think that everyone's going to relax about the fire season come late February.
Yep.
And then it's going to bite us on the butt at that point. Because you got to wait for the grass to really dry out or the scrub to really dry out.
Yep.
But I still argue that the safest place in Victoria during a bushfire would be up at Mount Hotham, because they base firefighters up there because of the bushfires.
That makes sense.
And they also have all these snow-making guns that they can turn on that just pump straight water out everywhere. Tens of thousands of litres, probably a minute, but certainly an hour, that would absolutely flood the side of the mountain, and there is no bushfire on Earth that would survive the amount of water that they could pump out.
The more you know.
So I still think Mount Hotham would still be one of the safest places in a bushfire.
So if you're ever looking to get organised, get yourself a snowmaker for your home, and off you go. How did we get so far? It did not take long at all.
I was sorting some background stuff, so you guys just went on your merry way, and this is what happens.
All right, can we hit the bullion stuff now?
We can.
Yes, it's been a good week. I said this to Ruben, and I didn't want to pump up your tyres too much, Michael, but it's been a great week of content on the Bullion Now channel, if I'm completely honest. Between the material Ruben put out with the Pride of Australia nugget coin and I love the Back to Basics series. I think I'll speak hopefully for some of the audience as well. It's nice to see just some, quite literally back to basics bullion talk. And I think sometimes, it's probably part of the fact that we've been now doing live streams for over a year now. We sometimes get carried away in some of the finer points, but it's nice to see just standard introductory stuff, and it can be a good refresher as well.
Well, there's a lot of great knowledge in these streams and things, but we essentially bury it. You know, it's in there somewhere in the past 2 years of us doing streams, basically.
Yeah,
but
absolutely,
it's good to take out some of those topics and just make them by themselves. This is what it is. This is the entire topic. Cool. Let's have a discussion just on that specifically. So.
And having said that, and having now watched that particular video, Michael, I have a query for you.
Yeah.
If you were a customer of Bullion Now and you came in and you were presented with that lineup of bars, which would you personally go for and why?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask this question because I would take... It depends if we're talking gold or silver, and that one we emphasise the silver.
We'll say silver kilos. We'll say the lineup that you highlighted.
There. It depends on why I came in. So I have different... I've talked about this before. I have different investment buckets or spending buckets.
Yep.
And if I'm just looking for best bang for the buck, I have no problem buying the rattiest... In fact, I like the ratty old buyback bars. That's right up my alley. So that's probably one that I would jump on straight away.
Yep.
If I was looking to... I wanted something that was a bit more... had a brand name behind it because I like keeping part of having variation in your stack.
Yep.
Diversification is diversification across brands as well because I might say to you, I've got a locally produced bar and I'm trying to sell to you on a secondary market. I've got a locally produced bar and you go, well, I don't know who they are. I don't care.
I haven't heard of them. Yep.
So I can't sell to you. Whereas if I've got locally produced and I've got Perth Mint and I've got Pamp, you might go, well, actually, I'm not interested in the locally produced, but I'd take a Perth Mint or a Pamp.
Yep.
So I would allocate some of my stack to a few to locally produced. In the newer stock, I would buy more Perth Mints than I would buy of any of the others.
Yep.
Because I'm leaning a little bit towards the gold argument here, but I know from personal experience that taking things overseas, Perth Mint is accepted everywhere around the world.
Yep.
Whereas locally produced, not as easily is probably the best way to put it. So I would focus more if I was buying newer stuff like on Perth Mints. And then I always like to have a bit of variation in the stack. I like to have exotic flavour. So there would be a small proportion, and I'll admit a small proportion, but a small proportion would be to go to those ultra premium ones like the Germania and the Pamps and that type of thing.
So in summary, you would buy everything.
I would.
That's what I got from that answer.
Look,
There's good in them all.
The problem is there are different brands for different situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I'm just looking for, I want bulk bullion as much as I can, then I'm just going to buy the cheap and nasty.
Yeah.
Because I actually like the cheap and nasty.
Mm-hmm.
I like someone's answer where they said in the comments they want the high premium stuff in the buybacks. That's their favourite.
Yeah, that's a real sweet
it's a
spot.
lucky dip.
Yeah, very hard spot to find though.
Yeah, and look, sometimes there was a Pamp in the buybacks this morning. I was ratting through for a customer to pull out.
Well, that was one of the ones I showed on the video. Yeah, there was some. There was a couple of Pamps.
This one looked better than brand new.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Like someone had, I don't know if they'd polished it or what, but it was stunning. And yet the next one in the pile was this rattiest Pamp that you've seen in your life. And it's just like that's exactly what the buybacks are. You get either. And I don't care. But we have a lot of people that do care. They want something that looks nice. And if you're looking for something that looks nice, you're talking either the high premium, the ultra high premium stuff, say Germania, or you're talking about locally produced, in all honesty. They always produce, they seem to go that extra stage further. And then other people just want, I want the sleep at night factor. I want to know that it's been produced by a mint that meets a certain standard and recognised around the world. So, yeah, I'd buy all of them.
When you say ultra high premium, though, coming from, if someone were to be entering bullion from a numismatic world where ultra high premium can be truly mind-bending.
Yes.
What sort of a premium difference are we talking between a Perth Mint and a Germania?
We're probably only talking $20 a kilo.
Yeah, so the word ultra is used pretty casually in this example.
Yeah. It's the short answer on that one. Look, I love the Germania mint stuff. I think it's beautiful. And if we were having this discussion in Poland, I would say buy the Germania mint every day of the week because it's their local product. But our local product's Perth Mint.
Yeah. But I also love that packaging. And particularly if you were to ever be so generous as to give a kilo of silver to someone as a gift. Something like that to receive would just be unreal. It's really nicely packaged. Even the box itself has a what's the word for it? It's like an embossed version of the bar on top of it. So yeah, I think that's a big winner. I'm a huge fan of those bars.
Yeah, I think they're great, and I think everyone should have at least one in their stack.
Yeah,
just as a talking point, just as a variation, just as a ooh factor.
Good stuff.
There's been some good questions come through while you guys have been chatting. Rosie, there's a great one here from Rosie. Says, is Royal Australian Mint recognised overseas more or less than the Perth Mint? You know, we often kind of pair the two against each other within Australia, but on the worldwide stage, what would you say has a more recognisable...
It's got to be Perth, right? I would
Yeah,
suggest.
I would actually... I thought I was going to disagree with you on this one.
No.
I would say RAM is not recognised worldwide in a bullion sense.
I was going to say
That's
bullion.
what-
I think people
yeah.
would look at the Australian, dollar coin and go, oh yeah, that's maybe an Australian coin.
Yeah.
But
And-
if you're talking the bullion community, I'd say Perth for sure. Everyone, I think the kangaroo has cemented itself pretty nicely.
Yeah, and I think Ruben's spot on with that one, because if you took a $1 coin into somewhere overseas, they'd go, oh yeah, I know what that is.
Yep.
If you took a $1 kangaroo, like silver kangaroo, into it's anywhere overseas, unless they dealt in bullion, they'd go, well, this is an Australian currency.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of who are the money exchanges, like at the airport and that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah. No,
Travelex and
yeah.
those sort of guys, they'd go, what the hell is that? They wouldn't recognise it. So if we're talking straight money, RAM, the Royal Australian Mint would be more recognised. If you're talking bullion, though, Perth Mint every day of the week.
Yep, absolutely. And just in general, I would suggest brand recognition. I think the Royal Australian Mint are starting to make moves in terms of... not huge moves, but they're starting to progress a little into the international market.
a couple of our US viewers are saying Perth, so
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
Perth's
Perth,
got
and Perth is one that I see when I'm surfing around YouTube, and I see other stacker videos and things like that. But again, that's with a core bullion reference. But it was just on this channel this week, the Sydney Opera House coin. So
Yeah, but
there you go.
When we're talking bullion, you're more talking bars than coins.
This is true.
How many
And
RAM
the
bars are recognised overseas?
Yeah, all right, the scale is... We're talking apples and oranges here.
Yeah.
Hopefully we've answered the question.
Yeah.
There's some conversation going on about the 10-ounce cooks. Goat says unlimited mintage on the 10-ounce as a topic, and someone else further down, let me find it. Where is it? I'm sorry, I can't find it. But it was basically what was the go with the smaller with our allocation. Like
Okay.
why did we get such a small
look,
allocation?
Let's attack the first question first. When Perth Mint, and this frustrates me a little with Perth, and I've had this conversation a couple of times with them, when they say unlimited mintage, they don't actually mean unlimited mintage. They mean mint to water or mint to capacity. Completely different things. So everyone goes, oh, unlimited mintage, I can get as many as I want and all that sort of stuff.
And they will be available forever.
That's right. It doesn't matter. There's no hurry. What we're not realising is that Perth Mint will only produce on demand to a degree. So it's whatever we order within that time frame. But particularly since COVID, even that's gone out the window. And now it's mint to the capacity on the day or couple of days that they actually have them slotted into the production presses, because their presses are working almost 24/7 now. And we're just keeping up with the demand they've got. So to slot in an extra production of 10-ounce Kookaburras it's not going to happen. As you can tell by the fact that we're now in September and they've only just managed to produce a run of them. I would, and I'm on fairly sure ground here, although obviously I don't work for the Perth Mint, so I can't say categorically this is the answer, but I would say the one production run that they've done is it. They will never do another production run of 2023 10-ounce Kookaburras ever again. So they might, I don't know the exact numbers. They won't release them to us until next year. But let's say they produced 2,000 in the run. That will be the, actually, I think I'd be better off saying 5,000. They're likely to have produced somewhere around about 5,000 in their run. And again, I can't speak for the Perth Mint, but that's about what I'm expecting. They will be the only 5,000 that are produced. So they will be far rarer than the 1 ounce Cook or the kilo cook or any of those sorts of things when the final numbers come out. So while they do say they're unlimited, they're not really. It's we've only got the space for one production run, and that's all we're going to do for the year. That is why you will see our allocation was fairly small, because they have to spread that allocation across the world. And we've talked about this many times, about the fact that the vast majority of the Perth mint production does go overseas, and we can argue about whether that's right and whether that's fair and all that sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, that's actually what happens. So 90% of them will have gone overseas. The remaining 500 to 1,000 will be spread between Perth mint and the rest of us dealers around Australia. And I would guess that we were in the top 3 allocations at worst, with the number that we got of Australian dealers.
I was having a look at the mintage numbers for a comment on the video we did. They still haven't released the 2022 numbers. 2020-21 was 2,391, and in 2020 that was 12,000. So
yeah, I don't think you can go by the 21 numbers.
No. But particularly without the 2022, either to give you an average, you're kind of talking a fairly big spread between 12,000 and 2,000. So
going back into 2021, Perth Mint had actually decided they weren't going to produce them at all. And it was only because a couple of us started saying, well, actually...
Hang on a minute.
yeah, like we've got people that collect, me included. So there was a little bit of self-interest there.
On behalf of the community.
That's right.
I need to continue my stack.
Collect the 10-ounce Kookaburra. So it's like, well, you can't stop it for a year. Otherwise, you're going to have all sorts of people go, well, if they're not committed to doing it, we're not going to collect them and stop, buying them altogether. So they produced a token amount that year. So we can't base too much on that by saying that will be all they produce. And the year before was a fairly normal pre-COVID production run. And even that, they only got 12,000 out. I will be surprised if there's more than that 5,000 to 6,000 this year. I could be wrong. I don't know Perth Mint's numbers. I'll just be a bit surprised going by what they produce with the Lunar in the 5-ounce size.
Couple of good questions from Silver Soul. They say, how much do you pay for round 50s? And Adam answered and said spot. And then he followed up with, do you know if most dealers pay spot for round 50s?
They don't.
Yeah. So it's definitely not the normal. But yeah, we buy those back at spot. There was another question that they asked earlier, which is kind of a bit of a topic we were going to bring up. They say, hey, what's with all the bank account closures of small coin dealers in the US? Are you worried?
I really don't want to talk about this.
Yeah, but we need to.
Yeah. This is live television, Michael. And on Spotify.
Look, I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't worried about it. This isn't a new thing for bullion dealers. We have been under scrutiny. Bullion dealers, refineries, and even some of the big refineries that you would be shocked at have been debanked in Australia.
There's Kane's comment there that I actually really want to latch onto with what we're about to talk about.
This is Australia, who cares?
Well, that's it. It started out being the US dealers. It
didn't start out being US dealers. Well, we've had this issue for years in Australia. We've just never talked about it.
Yep.
You might as well launch in, Rubes. I think you've got something.
I haven't thrown it all together. I figured it would just be a conversation topic, but there's been an Australian dealer that's had to shift their bank accounts recently because one was just randomly shut out, account closed out of the blue without so much as this is why. Yeah. So that it kind of is a little bit more local to us at the moment and hitting a little bit closer to home. So yeah, it's absolutely something that is impacting us here in Australia as well. Yeah. Besides just general, things happening in the market and banks and some of their shenanigans at the moment, has there been a particular flick of a switch to be causing this to be happening both in the US and Australia? It feels more prevalent at the moment, even if you're saying it's something that's been there kind of under the waters for a long time. The fact that it's happening multiple places, people are putting out videos, people are talking about it. What's the go?
Sorry, I'm just highlighting a question I want to come back to.
Yep.
Look, I would argue it's always been there. It's absolutely always been there. It's just not something we've ever talked about. And I can list pretty much every bullion dealer and almost every bullion dealer and pretty much every refinery has been debanked at some point. We just don't talk about it openly. In today's day and age with social medias and all those sorts of things, these things tend to be talked about more. So part of it is that it's being talked about a heck of a lot more. Part of it is also the fact that we know that there's a push to remove cash from society, and it's not some big secret, it's not some big conspiracy theory or anything along those sort of lines. We can see it. It's being openly discussed in the media. I watched the media question NAB and CBA in the last few days about the fact that they're shutting regional branches, and their comment was cash is being only used in 13% of transactions these days, whereas 10 years ago it was being used in, I don't know, something ridiculous like 70% of transactions. There is less cash out there. There is less demand for cash. The government is pushing us towards more electronic transactions. Economics are pushing us to more electronic transactions. All these sorts of things. It's definitely coming from the higher ups, as in the government is pressuring the banks, and the banks are then pressuring us. And look, just purely from there's a couple of arguments here from a small business perspective. When we deal in cash, and don't take away from this, a Bullion Now is looking at not dealing in cash, because we're not. We will absolutely keep dealing with cash while it is an option for us in this country. Okay, straight out. Clear on that one. We're not looking at moving away from it. However, as a small business owner, cash introduces all sorts of problems. There's the problems with errors. We give you the wrong change, you pay us incorrectly, those types of things. There's also the fact that we have to deal with the cash. I have to take it down to the bank. So I have to actually pay someone to deal with our cash and to take it into a bank. From a bank's level, they have to have tellers and all that sort of stuff to deal with the counting of the cash. There's storage issues, there's transport issues. We got a phone call from, I'm trying not to talk out of turn too much here, but we got a phone call from the bank a week before last to say we are increasing our charges to you for you banking cash at our bank. So I get charged by, not only do I have to pay one of our guys to actually do something with the cash, but when we present it at the bank, they actually charge us to count the cash. So there's all those extra expenses. So to be honest, it would be great if we got rid of cash from a business perspective. And the banks look at me because Austrac, which are a government organisation, they place pressure on the banks to say, okay, how do you know that your customers are doing the right thing with cash? They're not, trying to, it's all this, know your customer stuff. How do you know that they're dealing with it properly? So they have to actually allocate staff to check up on us to make sure that we're doing the right thing. Whereas if they had a bank, like they could have 100 bank accounts with normal people or normal businesses, and they don't require that level of scrutiny, or they can allocate those man hours to one account, to my account, to make sure I'm doing the right thing. So they're going, well, we can have 100 accounts or one account, which is better economically for us. So there's a whole string of reasons why they want to get rid of our accounts and why they do it. Did I answer the question, or did you go off tangent?
I think you answered the question within there. The other one recently that a customer brought to our attention this week is Woolworths have dropped their cash out amount from $500 down to $200, and changing in October, you aren't able to take any cash out without also purchasing something. Up till October, you could just walk into Woolies and get $500 cash out, no worries, without having to buy anything, but that is now changing. And yeah, they're quoting very similar things of basically it's costing us to have this cash on hand. We don't want to deal with it. We're aware that some people do, which is why we're keeping it. But it very much feels like we're keeping it for now and just slowly, weaning you off it, as opposed to, the bad press we know we'll get if we just pull the pin on it entirely.
Yeah, look, Woolies would be having the same problems we're having. The same expenses and all that type of stuff. So I was surprised initially when they actually came out and said, you can just withdraw cash straight from here you can treat us as an ATM. I was actually quite shocked they did that because of the expense of it, having someone behind the counter and all that. So it doesn't shock me that they're doing it. It disappoints me they're capping it at $200, but they're under the same sort of pressures we are. I get why they're doing it. It disappoints me and I don't like it.
Particularly when $200 is buying you less and less nowadays.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
exactly, yeah.
It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Look, at the end of the day, we're doing ourselves a disservice because, as the CEOs of the banks said very, very recently, we're only transacting, 13% of the time in cash. So if you're not supporting the use of cash, why should they provide the service of it?
That's actually a very good point. I've never thought about it in those terms. That actually makes a lot of sense. It makes their argument far more compelling, and it's one of those things that it feels a bit like a use it or lose it type situation where it's used less and less to a point where these restrictions and rules get implemented and you find yourself further and further behind. And then if and when you get to that point where you start needing to use it more regularly, it's not there and it's not available because they say, oh, well, for the past couple of years, no one was using it. So now you don't have that option anymore, which is why things like Bullion are so helpful to have. So you don't have to, fortunately, I don't have to ask permission from anyone if I want to do something with a portion of my stack. I think that's something that we often don't talk about as being one of the major benefits to having a stack is you have total control over what you're doing with your finances. And if you want to do anything with it, if you want to go to a stackers meetup or come into Bullion Now and liquidate a portion of your stack, you can do that relatively freely and easily. You don't have all of these rules and regulations around, you can only do 1 ounce of silver today and then come back tomorrow and we might be able to do more, but you need to book it in advance because, it's quick, it's easy, it's convenient for you. So, it's a very interesting time to be alive, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you're right. Cash and particularly bullion, it allows you to control. It gives full control to you, whereas when you're in electronics and things like that, it's outside of your control. And I'm a big fan of maintaining the control.
That's a nice little handball into into one of our title topics. And that's some CBDC news out of the States. I brought this. Michael's
get excited, Michael. Jeez.
Michael's big on the it's a something nothing, and after having a bit of a look at it, I actually tend to agree a little bit. I'll throw up one of the
politicians.
That's the wrong
playing.
one. Hang on.
This is Polly's playing the media.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree. Like I said, particularly after looking at it. Where is it gone? There we go. I found it. So US CBDC efforts opposed in legislation advanced by House Republicans. So the House has approved a bill meant to prevent a US central bank digital currency. So it's basically saying you can't be trusted with this. It's got to go through, Congress and be approved and this and that. You can't just slide something through and start using a CBDC without it kind of going through some full, checks first. But the last line on there, I think, is a little bit where Michael's come from. And it says, even if Republican-led crypto bills are approved by the overall House, their reception in the Democrat-dominated Senate is unlikely to be enthusiastic.
My question, and you can't answer this one, but my question is, if the Republicans held majority, would they introduce this bill? They're only introducing it because they know it's going to be shot down by the Democrats.
And it's, look at us, we did this thing to try and stop this thing happening. Yeah. Is the public perception towards CBDCs being bad as similar as it is in the stacking community? Obviously, I think a lot of people with the mindset of, keeping cash around and stacking bullion and whatever can look at something like that and go, hang on, my warning signs are going off here. But is the general public, I'll say in the States, but is the general public in the States actually anti, that kind of thing? Or is it just that, a bit more of a niche group?
I think I would argue it's a niche group. I'm
Yeah.
maybe going
So
out on a
why
limb here.
so why would they be pitching it to that niche group as opposed
Because it's
to
a
the
noisy.
wider?
Why do they pitch most things
Yeah, okay.
to noisy niche groups?
That's fair enough.
Because they're noisy, and mate, we're in Australia, and we're discussing.
Yeah.
This is how it works. It gets their name out there. The Republicans are, oh yeah, I agree or I disagree or whatever, but it gets people talking and it gets their name out there because several of the Republicans have actually got their name in print, so it's free advertising for them.
Yeah.
It's it's the same as a streaker at the footy. It's the way you get noticed. It's the whole reason they do it. Okay, very Australian comment there. But you know where I'm coming from. That's the whole reason they're doing it. I know my argument to that my comment to that would be, if people were against CBDCs, they wouldn't be using their cards so frequently, their crypto so frequently, their all these electronic transactions that happen every day that are fully traceable and all those sorts of things. They wouldn't be doing it if they didn't think it was a good idea and convenient.
Yep.
They'd be sticking with cash. And we've just gone through the whole discussion of people aren't using cash anymore.
Yep.
So I would say the general, run-of-the-mill person out there would be going, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's an instant transaction. I don't have to worry about as I complain about daily, CBA locking up our account for 24 hours with the transactions we're sending out to customers or that they're sending to us because of security reasons is what they tell us. I've got something here that can be an instantaneous transaction anywhere in the world. This is fantastic. I love it.
And on top of that, for signing up, you've got 100 free Gov bucks put straight into your wallet. It'll be very interesting to see the rollout and what the marketing campaign looks like to really encourage it as a safe, convenient, efficient way to manage your finances.
Mate, you should go into marketing.
I really should. We're going to have to extend out the BN brand.
I think we need to talk about a couple of the items we've got sitting on the counter there. I think people are asking. Let's start with the ones on top. If you're happy.
Can I stop us for a moment?
Sure. I mean, that's no different to every other week. So why?
There's a comment made by.
I tried everyone. I'm sorry.
A comment made by Silvermad1 a little while ago, and I want to hit on it. It says, "Hi guys, any chance Michael can comment on buying back at spot price? I sold some silver this week. I know I was paid a little under spot, and I didn't question it. Wasn't much different at the end of the day. So it'll be one of a couple of things that may have happened there. One is it depends what you're selling back. So we pay spot for everything except for, and there's a couple of asterisks. You can go to our FAQs and it says there, the only things we don't pay spot for straight off the bat are gold bars that are over 100 grams in size, silver bars that are over 100 ounces in size, more than 50 ounces or 50 kilos in a day of gold or silver, depending on which one you're talking about. And the only other thing correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, the only other thing we don't pay spot for is pre-decimal or sterling silver type coins bars, where we pay 90% of spot on those.
Yep.
And I think that's everything that we would pay below spot.
Well, and we'll often then do a spot special on that kind of stuff anyway, so it often kind of works out.
Yeah. The thing that I suspect has actually happened here, Silvermad, is you've looked at, there are dozens and dozens of spot price providers, and all of them are different. So we use, and we've been very open about this, we use Kitco, and for sales we use the ask price, and for buybacks, if we're buying back off you, we base it on the bid price, which is, there's always a difference between bid and ask of a very small amount in gold and silver. In fact, I'll look it up at the moment.
The other comment from Silvermad that followed that up was Oscar was requesting aircon in the store.
Yeah.
I noticed you had skipped over that one.
Yeah, I'll get back to it. So, right at this second, if you're talking gold, the difference between the bid and the ask is, and I'm looking at Kitco right now in Australian dollars per ounce, the difference is $1.55 on a near on $3,000 transaction, and on silver it is currently 15 cents per ounce. So I suspect that whatever you've looked at the time has been either another spot price provider, which is slightly out of sync with Kitco, or could have been higher, could have been lower at any time, or you've looked at the ask and we've looked at the bid, and so there's been that 15 cent an ounce difference. I hope that answers the question.
Very good.
You can lead us. Oh, you want me to comment on the air conditioning now?
No, it's
So-
we could do with some aircon in the
The air conditioning
studio
in this-
as well.
Yeah, Matt was trying to find his fan before we started.
Yeah, my biggest fan, and I can't even find it.
So air conditioning in the store. The air conditioning in this building is absolutely gutlessly atrocious. It was put in the 60s and it's never really been updated, so it sucks. You
Get a nice warm breeze on a summer's day.
That's right. It drops the temperature maybe 10 degrees from the outside temperature on the best days. The second problem we have is fitting like 50 people in a space that's designed for 3, and that always brings up the temperature in there. The third problem is we've actually bought 2 portable air conditioners for the shop. I just got to work out how to vent them properly because we can't vent them straight out the window. So I've got to try and fit them into the ducting system in here. That is why we have no air conditioning in the shop. We are trying to fix that issue.
Very good. What else is going on?
You can go now,
we're
Rubes.
about to launch.
Okay.
What are we
I
launching into?
want to show the ones in the capsules on the top
These?
there. Yeah. So
Do you want me
we've
to
got
deliver them over into
yeah,
the
I
zone?
reckon.
Oh, hang on.
So
Let
this
me
is a-
clear out the other special VIP items.
This is a bit of a sneak peek because we haven't released the video on these yet, but we have filmed one, so hopefully coming soon. But we said there was a new intrinsic tender product.
We
coming
videoed
by.
these weeks ago, mate. Have
did.
you not released it yet?
No, I've been hanging on to them.
Ta-da! Whoops.
Good one. We
Hold-
need a square on the table.
Ta-da! Yeah, we really do need a
hold on,
strike
hold
zone.
on up closer.
All right, here we go.
So this is actually 2 separate products. This is not one
No, it's
bar.
only one product.
This is
2
2
separate items.
half ounce silver pieces that fit very nicely in some capsules.
These are sensational. I love these.
So we're trying. We've tried our regular rectangular capsules, and there's a bit of movement. We've come across these ones where they actually there's basically no movement.
Give it
in
a
there.
shake.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
No sound.
we're hoping to get some
Giving
more
me
of.
vertigo, mate.
Oh, it's very confusing for me to be looking at the screen as well.
So yeah, and that way you get to see both sides of it on the one side as well. So.
So if people buy 2, do they get a capsule or what happens?
We don't know yet. Like I said, this is a little sneak peek.
Yeah, very good.
Thought we'd throw them out there, and they should be coming soon.
Beautiful.
I
So that's brand new. That's never before seen.
Never before seen.
Wow.
It has been videoed before, just hasn't been
Just hasn't been released. Yeah, cool. Nice
hasn't
one.
fit the schedule. These are I'm not a fan of fractional silver particularly because of the increase in premium. However, the premium on these, it's still like it's always going to be better to buy one ounce bar than 2 half-ounce bars. It's just the way life is. I don't think the premium is excessive on these. They're locally produced. They're a minted bar. I actually love these things. I think they're fantastic.
You're not going to be dropping the infamous ultra premium term when it comes to these? Would you say modest premium?
Modest premium. I think for fractionals, I think they're a good premium.
Oh, very good.
They're certainly better than buying a fractional coin,
Yep.
or something along those sort of lines.
So do we know the pricing, or is this we're just talking?
I think we're just talking.
vague terms here.
Well, I can probably tell you the pricing if you can give me long enough.
Yeah, we'll have a look and see what happens.
So, of course, my computer's logged out of the website because I think we've put pricing into the web, haven't we, Rubes?
I am not sure.
Oh, well, we're about to find out.
I'm asking the pressing questions live on air.
I can play a video that Matt and I filmed today. In the meantime, whilst you're a little teaser for one anyway that should be going up on the weekend while you're hunting for that if you wanted, Michael.
Is it going up on the weekend? Is it?
Yeah, the plan is to put this video up on the weekend.
This is a lot of fun. I'll be totally honest. This was a hoot.
Yeah. All right. I'll quickly play that now, and we'll hopefully have a prize for you
Back
when we
with
come
some
back.
answers.
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, in celebration of the Pride of Australia 1 ounce gold bullion coin, Ruben and I have decided to come out into the heart of the Melbourne CBD to uncover a fascinating story relating to that very same nugget. You might be wondering why I'm in a library and why I'm whispering. we'll give you some more information where I can be a little bit louder. Alrighty, time for a big reveal. So the reason Ruben and I have made the trip down to the State Library is this was actually the site where the Pride of Australia gold nugget was once upon a time on display. This is going back to the early 1990s, 1991 to be precise, and you wouldn't read about it. The nugget was stolen. So I have here the 1988 bicentennial nugget set. This was a proof set produced by the Perth Mint to celebrate a variety of iconic nuggets, and interestingly enough, the 1 ounce gold in this set is the Pride of Australia. So the design is very similar to what we'll be seeing on the upcoming Bullion release. Beautiful.
There we go.
I can't wait to see that.
Me neither. I haven't actually seen it yet, so...
Well, I asked you before, you popped in and you seemed excited. I said, oh, you must have watched the video. Nah, not interested.
So what was the video about?
So we went down there because in my research for the Pride of Australia nugget coin that released earlier this week, I was just fascinated by the history, and I went, "This is really cool." And as Matt said in the video, it was actually stolen out of what was the Melbourne Museum and is now the State Library, and it's only 600, 700 meters from here, which is just a little bit interesting. I'm like, when it's that close, we got to go down and check it out. But while we were down there, we saw the Ned Kelly armor, and we saw St. George and the Dragon statue, which is obviously heavily linked in with the sovereign and things like that. So, no, a bit of a fascinating journey, just kind of right down the road.
And do you have any idea how difficult it is when you're bouncing off the walls to speak at a volume that's appropriate for a library?
Yeah.
when you're talking about stolen gold nuggets and whatnot, and trying to be mindful of people, doing their study or reading a book quietly, there's quite a bit of echo in there. So I did see a comment. What's the acronym? ASMR? I don't know what that means, but it is like that. When someone's quietly whispering into a microphone, it's a very strange sound.
We kind of had to, because
Yeah.
The bar was never recovered, or the nugget was never recovered at all.
No, it was not. It was not. Hang on, you'll have to watch. Who knows? You'll have to watch the video and find out.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
The thrilling conclusion airing this weekend. That's it. The other thing that we're going to tease a little bit, and I am really, really excited for these. These are the items that are in the boxes in front of you, and this is going to be a bit of a classic case of here are some I prepared earlier, but I'm going to play a little video that I made of these because I absolutely had a blast filming these. Got to be a little bit creative with it, and I hope everyone else will enjoy it. So I'm sorry everyone, I'm going to play another video. But I think this item's pretty cool, and after the video goes, we'll have a bit of a closer look at them in person. they're just the coolest products.
They are super
I
cool.
have
That
seen.
video, that is rock solid. I think that may be your finest work to date, Ruben.
Thank you. I
If you're
appreciate
impressed
that.
with Ruben's work on that video, give this live stream a like.
You're aiming for the likes. Yeah, I'm on
I
to
like
you.
the likes. I don't mind the likes, but it was, and I did say that off air, so you know it was sincere. I was very impressed with that
There's
video.
a rumour going around that production is better than the Germania Mint marketing for it.
I have heard that rumor as well. It's starting to pick up steam, actually. Do a poll for it, Ruben.
No, I won't subject them to that. But no, I'm proud of that one, and I just love this as a product. To be totally honest, we've got some chilling in front of you there, Matt. There we go.
Hey, look, I've sort of got it centered. That's pretty much in the middle.
People asking, you activate them with a UV light.
Ta-da.
Doesn't look so good in this light.
What do you mean?
That's
I mean, it looks good, but
You mean turn all the lights off?
Yeah, it'd be better if we were in a dark room.
Yeah,
I'll create a shadow. Look.
But no, absolutely an awesome product.
Ta-da.
See, look, even with that, they look far better just with the shadowing your hands caused.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
an
they look
expert.
fantastic.
Yeah, they actually do look really cool.
So it's really nice to see something different in the bullion space. It's obviously something that it's a piece of metal. There's only sometimes so many things you can do with it. But then Germania go and pull something like this, and it's just like, yeah, you can still do some cool stuff with it.
Yeah, but can you still call them bullion?
Oh, we were just about to get into that. You read my mind. I don't think this is not bullion to me. I think we are well and truly in a not numismatic.
I was
What's
gonna
the
say,
word?
you can't-
We're in the silver art
Yeah.
category almost. I think this is
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
it's very interesting, and I like any kind of innovation, particularly when it comes to this type of a product. I think it's like you said, Ruben. It's nice to see things a little out of the ordinary coming out that aren't exclusively one way or the other, in terms of it's not just a bullion coin or a round, and it's not in that full proof numismatic field. I think this will hit a sweet spot for a lot of people that like something a little bit out of the ordinary. And I'll be honest, this is the sort of thing that when we talk about showing someone else something interesting to get that exposure to the world of gold and silver, something like this would be, geez, very exciting to see. If someone just said, hey, have you ever seen runes? Pow! Look at these. There you go.
Look, I think it's important. I know that I'm going to cause a bit of controversy here, but I think it's important
That's
that,
unlike you.
that you,
What?
well, that you enjoy your stack.
Absolutely.
Like, there's a real buzz that comes from, I've got X kilos in my stack or X ounces in my stack. And there's a real buzz from that. But there's also the other side of it of, I've got these X ounces or X kilos, but you should see this thing that I've got. And it's just, that's one of the reasons why I like those moldy old silver bars and that sort of stuff. It's like, wow, look at this, or an old sovereign or a, like that coin that you've got from, is it Roman times or... like the prehistoric one or whatever you want to call it.
The ancient coin.
Yeah. Like it's that wow factor of, isn't this interesting? It's like, I've got a Hyundai that I drive, but you should see my, 1928
T model Ford.
That's right.
Hey, look at me. I know about cars.
It's that, that buzz factor. And that's what this is, This is cool.
Speaking as the joy I had filming them and throwing that together, I 100% agree. It's it brings a smile to your face.
Yeah. Laurie, you're missing the point. What's in the boxes is what we just showed you now.
There is an unboxing to come, but this is a jam-packed stream. We've got a lot of sneak previews of all sorts of exciting bits and pieces.
That's good. One of the other topics that Michael sent through to me is a bit of a throwback to an old thing out of Perth. That's
right. I remember this. I couldn't work out what you're talking about for a second.
What did he? What are we going back to? People are asking about price and release, and are we talking about that now, or do you want to?
I can give you a ballpark. I can't give you exacts because I haven't done the numbers, but you're looking. I think it was about 120. Give or take a little bit. because there's GST on them, obviously, because they're not a straight bullion bar.
They also don't just come as just those, just sitting like that. They come in a box, in a bag, with the cert, all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so they're very, very flash. They don't come with a torch, though, unfortunately.
BYO torch.
Yeah.
These are fairly accessible. It's not terribly difficult to get a...
No, that's a Germania mint black
Yeah,
light.
this is flash. Get a load of that, Ruben. How come we only got one of these?
No, I think we've got a couple
unfortunately,
of
it
them,
rolls. Look
So-
at that. Whoa. Almost. So this is why we get Ruben to do the videos.
Yeah. So look, they're about $120 each, and Rubes is right. They come with all sorts of fancy packaging and all those sorts of things. The XAGs, half-ounce XAGs, because someone pinged on that how much they were. I can't remember. I was trying to find the price in a real hurry. I'm guessing they're somewhere around about that $24 a piece.
But he's guessing.
Yeah, 23, in the 23, 24 range, somewhere around about there. But both of those will be released. I'm hoping, I actually shot a message off to Adam. There we go, $7 over spot. He's just sent it back. So we should have those half ounces. Those probably should be live on the website sometime today, I believe. And the runes will be next week.
Yep.
Nice.
There you go. You're making a liar of me. I told Dark Hearts it'd probably be next week. We'd put the video up of those ones, but
the video will go up next week.
Yeah,
but,
okay. Well,
now we've talked about them, we'll flick them up on the website.
Keep an eye on the website.
Yeah.
So the story you flung to me was about the it was involving Perth and some face tattoos. A little while ago, there was a bit of an incident where Perth were thrown under the bus in the media a little bit for serving someone with a bit of a checkered past, but with face tattoos, and how dare they? Thrown together a couple of the headlines there. Perth Mint sold gold to tattooed bikie without checks. Despite his face and body being almost entirely covered in tattoos, the convicted criminal claims Mint staff only asked him for his driver's license.
Mint staff only complied with the law.
But there is a reason we are bringing this back up, Michael, and that's because you found a story out of Perth recently that was the complete other side of this. And it was a pub also in Perth where a Maori man was kicked out of the pub for having face tattoos.
And the media is disgusted that this guy was discriminated against because he had face tattoos.
Yeah.
So
You shouldn't judge a book by its cover. He served in the army to protect people's rights and not be harassed for who you are. Which is it, Perth? People can't keep up. Is it, should they not have served him because he had face tats, or should they have, pick a lane?
Yeah, this is we're having a bit of a laugh about it, and it's all good fun and all that sort of stuff. But this is just highlighting mainstream media and how they'll just run for the story. And it's, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So, as Rube said, pick a lane. What are you going to do? Should we serve people with face tattoos, or should we not serve people with face tattoos? Is it a discrimination? Like if Perth...
Sorry, Kane, I'm not meaning to throw Perth under the bus specifically. That's a fair cop. Sorry.
It's, it's the same as this guy in the article that was refused service at the pub is saying, well, maybe I'll take this to the... what's the World Discrimination Tribunal? It's called.
Yeah, it was an ethics committee or something. I think.
So anyway, the World Court that looks at discrimination and it's illegal. The flip side of that is if Perth had turned around to this guy that had come in with the face tats and said, we can't serve you because of face tats, would he have then taken them to the discrimination tribunal and got Perth Mint into trouble for it? Yeah. You can't... You can't argue both sides of the coin. You've got to say either we're serving these people or we're not serving these people. The Human Rights Commission, that's the one. Thanks, MP. You can't, it's so hypocritical, it's not funny.
Yeah. No, absolutely couldn't agree more.
As long as they're getting clicks, though, fellas. That's the name of the game. Speaking of clicks... Nearly at 100 likes.
I knew that was coming out of that. Yes, the runes will be listed on the website next week. I don't believe we'll get them up quick enough.
Well, I mean, I think it depends on what we're waiting for on them. I mean, we could put them up with Actually, I don't know if all the background stuff's done for them yet.
You've just created such a beautiful video.
Well, I was going to say everyone.
We
everyone
can't do a
knows-
dodgy up of the listing.
Everyone knows that my side of it's done now because they've seen it. So, oh dear. I reckon we could do a couple of auction items.
Hey, look out! Thought you'd never ask. What do you want to launch off with?
Yeah. I think the other guy was in Queensland. No, they were both in Perth.
They were both Perth.
Because I actually thought a similar thing, but they're not.
That was what made it even more of a polarizing thing for me. I thought that was yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Matt. I reckon.
So hang on. If we're gonna do an auction, we need to set the rules.
All right.
Because it's been a bit airy fairy. So
No.
and Rubes and I were talking about this, and Matt were talking about this before we went live. So there is a delay in the feed that we have no control over. So at our end, it seems to be about a 2-second delay, but we're having people who are viewing saying it's anything up to about a 10-second delay. So we're quite happy to run the auction, we're quite happy for you to snipe the auction if that's what you want to choose to do. However, bear in mind that once we say it's sold and Ruben puts on the chat it's sold, any chats that enter after that point on our screen, because I don't know how it presents on your screen at home, but anyone that presents on our screen after that point will not be taken as a bid.
I think I've also, we'll see if this works. Let me just fire it up. I think I've also got to say a timer. Let me just hit go on that. I think, there we go.
Oh, nice.
So we should have, I don't know if you can see it from where you are, Michael.
We're not auctioning the runes, by the way.
No,
What's going? Look, get that out of here.
I don't know if you can see it in the bottom left there, Michael. But
I can sort of see it.
yeah,
We've got a camera stand in the way.
We've got a little timer set up. So hopefully,
So even on that, so that just clicked 1 minute. So even on mine, I'm getting a 4 to 5 second delay.
yeah.
On this.
And I'm about a second ahead of you, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we'll probably do is that's it. I will put I'll let that run to 0, and as soon as it goes 0, my end I will hit.
We're gonna launch in.
I think we launch in.
Launch in. So we'll do our best to have a crack and make sure that everyone gets a fair go. But like I said, if you're going to snipe, the chances are you may miss out. So just be aware of that.
Oh, we need a more professional font on the stopwatch. Apparently, sorry everyone.
Yeah, very, very
Yes.
comical.
Yeah.
Come on.
I want to know what Alan wants. He thinks we're suctioning a new position at BN. I'm assuming that's a typo, mate.
Think auctioning.
Okay, the first item that we have here is you cut into a super thing. So this is a 1/10 ounce gold proof Year of the Dragon. This was a coloured coin. I've got the little cert. Ta-da! The box needs to be highlighted. Is a little bit how you going,
Only on the corner.
which is Australian for
A bit ordinary.
Yeah, seen some better days. So there's a few dings and what have you, but the main focus, as we know, is the coin. So you've got a nice little. What color is that? Purple?
I would have thought it was a reddy pink.
Yeah, that's purple, mate. Isn't that what purple is? Red and pink together. So we've got a coloured dragon.
Pink's just a light red. You can't say that.
Oh, gee whiz. Start the timer, Ruben. So
Never-
it's a 1/10 ounce gold proof.
And it
Year of
has
the
the C
Dragon.
of A with it. And the C of A and the non-cardboard box that it comes in are all in pretty good nick. The cardboard box has just taken a ding, that's all.
And the total mintage for this particular coin was
The total-
5,000.
Yeah, the advertised mintage, but whether they actually produced that many and didn't melt them down is a different matter.
And Spot puts it at 299 as a start.
So Zamina Khan is just confirming that bid at 375 for us.
I have started a timer. Let's see how this
Looks
works.
like we're at 375.
Oh, this is much easier with a timer. I already prefer this. We don't have to
Don't have
sort
to
of
keep
try
track of
and, have a bit of argy-bargy at the end there.
So Alex has jumped in with 400.
Year of the Dragon. We are about to enter the Year of the Dragon once more.
We
So I wouldn't be surprised. This is not financial advice. This is just a the general observer, it's not uncommon to see a little bit of renewed interest in the previous years. So this is the Series 2
Yes.
Lunar Series, and we are about to enter the Series 3 Year of the Dragon. So an interesting coin to add to your stack. Ticks a few boxes, being proof and coloured. So I always like the coloured coins, a little out of the ordinary. And the box as well. This is a swish box. The Perth Mint did a great job with these. Much nicer than the Royal Australian Mint's reconstituted cardboard. Like you
really don't like that, do you?
No, I feel the same way about it as you do as a paper straw at Macca's. It's not happening.
We're down in the last 10 seconds, guys.
Here we go. So if you want to have a dip, now's the time.
So you're going to draw it off, Rubes?
Yeah.
403. Oh, XY Hugh straight in there.
Yeah, swish.
Oh, mate.
Expertly handled.
So well done, mate. And there's a few that are trying to jump in at the last minute and have missed out. So all done and dusted to XY Hugh. So you need to send us an email with your details, because obviously we don't know everyone's handle and that type of thing. So send us an email. Just say won the auction for the 1/10 coloured dragon.
Yep.
And we will issue you with a invoice. An invoice. I'll use the correct English term there.
Yeah.
And pay on that, and we will organise for it to be put into storage or shipped, whichever you would prefer.
That was incredibly straightforward. I think we've hit our stride with this auction caper.
Sorry, John. You were actually after it at least on our end. It's come through after.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. So there will be a delay, which is why if you're going to snipe, you may miss out. So come in earlier the better. I don't know. Obviously, I'd say that because we're selling it, but yeah. So the timer on there is an approximation. But when we put sold on the chat, that's when it's done and dusted, and there's not much we can do about that one.
We're getting there. There's progress. Maybe we haven't aced it, but I'm impressed. I thought that was fairly smooth, comparatively smooth.
Well, the other way we do it is the way I hate is where you extend it by 5 seconds or something, and after every bid. But I really hate when that happens.
It is what it is. We're not looking to reinvent the wheel here.
Well, maybe it ends up becoming a bit of a lucky dip because everyone just puts through their bids right at the last second, and then whichever one's highest right before, because everyone's trying to preempt the delay.
We're open to suggestions on this one to try and make it better.
All right, what have we got next?
I've got a silver.
Oh no, not ones I haven't.
Wow. Oh, no. Let's do this one. It'll be a bit of fun.
Remember when I said we had this all, on a string?
Here you go.
Michael's throwing in.
What is this? I don't.
Have you got a macro?
Have you got a macro lens on that?
We've had this one.
I kept this aside. This was like a year ago.
A year ago, I think. Plus. This was like in the first week that you worked for us, mate.
Maybe,
this is years old.
Oh no.
Do I need a little felt baggie or something to rest this on?
Yeah.
Should have put it on the back of a rune, maybe.
So this is actually if Matt ever gets himself
I'm trying to find something to display it
Just
on.
hold it up to the camera. You'll be right. So this is 1 gram of silver off a. Should we auction it or should we? No, we'll make it a bonus in one of the other auctions because the paperwork alone.
Can't even
would
hold
kill
it,
us.
mate. I'm going to drop it. I haven't got steady hands.
So
the pressure is immense.
It's a 1 gram. It's a one. No, let's not auction this one. Let's put it as part of whatever else you were going to auction. So it's 1 gram of silver that has been broken off one of the Valcambi bars and sold back to us. So really, I'm doing this just to show people that we actually do buy them back because we always get asked, "Oh, if I just break off a bit and bring it back in, will you buy it back?" We will.
It's gone. I've dropped it.
The next auction item that they're going to throw up, because I don't know what they've got organised for next, we'll actually throw in a 1 gram that's been broken off a 100 gram Valcambi silver bar.
There you go. Sensational. What's next? Is everything I'm looking at here?
Yes.
Individual. Okay, so
hurry it up.
Okay, all right. Individual these two, or you want to?
No, sell them both together.
There you go.
Yeah, sell those ones both together and throw in the 1 grammer.
All right. What do you call? Here's a quiz for you, Michael. What do you call a group of horses?
A mob.
Really? No, you don't. That's kangaroos. Aren't you a horse guy?
No.
What do you?
I grew
You
up on
joke.
horses.
Come on.
No,
You were riding
Herd.
horses.
It's a herd.
It
Or
is.
Is it a
team
herd?
or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correctly.
A
it's
mob.
It's a herd.
Mob of horses. You joking? So, surprise, surprise. Couple of horses.
A couple of horses. You can't call that.
This is. Oh, where's the camera? I need it. Oh, I need help.
He's a
think
paid
it's also-
professional, believe it or
It's
not.
very shiny. Yeah, you need back where you had it. No, you're copping way too much shine. Yeah, that's a bit better.
All right. So once again, we find
It's
ourselves.
a series 2 horse.
T, just try clicking the live button. You may find you've just fallen behind a bit and skip ahead.
This is a 2014 Year of the Horse from again, we're back in Series 2 Lunar territory.
See what happens when I clean out the drawers in my desk?
I have not seen one of these for quite some time. So there you go, 2014, Year of the Horse. 2 of them, a mob of them, you might even say. Plus,
I heard that. See
ah!
what I did there?
I didn't realise
look
this
at
was a
him.
comedy stream.
Look at him go.
Plus your little
right.
bonus.
We're starting at 7360. Although I don't know if do we start only once the timer starts, or do we count those ones that have already put in pre?
Just
us
start
starting?
the timer, Ruben.
Alright,
We got
alright.
places to be, mate.
Yeah, so so this auction is for all of what you see on the screen. So 2 ounces plus 1 gram. And we've got a bid from Wombat of 120.
There we go, and we're off. Sounds a bit of a horse reference. Oh, jeez.
Oh, dear.
So we have the 2014 Farlap coin from the Series 2
Farlap coin.
Lunar Series. I don't know, one of them could have been a descendant of Farlap. I don't know. I don't know the horses that modelled for this. So I didn't know that they actually did 2 of the horses on this. I thought that was a new thing for this Series 3
No.
range.
No. It's been like that for a while, but I don't think they do. It's not mother and baby in Series 2, is it?
Just a couple of pals.
Yeah.
A couple of siblings, maybe.
So Rosette's in for 150. And we've got 20-something seconds left on the timer.
Just about to cross the 20 mark now.
So can you put that in the chat? No? Okay.
By the time you do it, there'll be 10 left.
Yeah, we'll just do it at 10 seconds. Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm getting
He's already
ready.
lined up.
Oh,
solid.
I'm trying to help here, guys. He's working against me.
No,
So at the moment, we've got Rosette at 150. And 3, going once, twice, and done and dusted.
Lovely. Well done.
So Rosette, same deal. Send us in a message, and we will get back to you. Do you want to put that in a bag so we don't lose the 1 grammer?
probably very smart.
Yeah, have you got a bag?
No, you got it sitting in front of you.
What?
On your
Oh,
on
it's
your
right-
keyboard.
Yeah, it's truly right in front of me.
Is that a metric gram or a troy gram, Michael?
It's a metric gram. I had to think about that, believe it or not. So yeah,
All right, we'll do a gold one now.
We can do a gold one. I've got the gold ones over there.
oh, love these.
Yeah, so when people say, if you're at a charity event or something to that effect and it says entry by gold coin donation, you can actually use one of these, which you're about to see now when we cut to the super camera. And I'm one of these days I'm going to figure this out. This is a pure gold 20-cent piece.
It is 24.56 grams of pure gold.
24.56.
I love
This
these.
is from 2010. This is from the annual gold proof set. And the gold sets, they always do those in fairly low mintages as well. And to see them broken up like this is always very exciting because you don't have to fork out the entire value of each denomination.
They are fantastic. So it is a 20-cent piece, has a face value of 20 cents.
Well,
But
at the
it
very
is-
least, yeah.
But it is made of 4/9 gold, and they are just, I love these. The 50 cent is my favourite, but all of them. Some of the series even go down to the 1 cent piece.
They do. 2006 did.
Yeah, but most of them go from the 5 cent piece up to the $2 coin. And they just, You want to add flavour to your stack?
This is about as flavoursome as it gets.
Like,
Who did
these are
this
just
portrait? Is this ringing any bells? That's not a standard
Yeah, it
portrait.
is.
No, it's not. That's not the Ian Rank Broadley.
From 2010? Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
No
Oh,
way.
here they go. Sorry, everyone. The auction's on hold while two
Yeah,
coin
quick
nerds
pause while we
discuss
figure out-
effigies.
That's the Vladimir Gottwald.
Yeah, but that's the 2010.
He did the year 2000, the 50 cent. I didn't know they did the 2010. This is news to me. Yeah, Vladimir
Whilst
Gottwald.
they're discussing, the starting price will be $2,365.
So you're not taking the 20-cent bid up there?
I mean,
Yeah, so Vladimir Gottwald's portrait on circulating coinage was only approved for 1 year only type in the year 2000. So you won't see this portrait on any circulating coins for the other than the year 2000.
There you go.
There you go, indeed.
all right, we
I
need
knew
to.
that
we
was
need
something
to
a bit different.
we need
Sorry,
to-
Ruben, continue.
we need to cross back over to this because
We have
people are starting to bid.
Okay,
Oh,
so
sorry,
Aussie
sorry.
No,
No,
T
T.
is in at 2,400.
Yep.
They're a beautiful coin. I love them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love them.
And you are looking at a
Aussie drop bears at 2,450.
total mintage 450.
Yeah.
One of 450. You're joking.
That's pretty cool.
That is incredibly cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. And a unique obverse.
Drew was hoping to keep it at the 20, sub $1 bids.
How many grams is it, Rubes?
I had it
It's
here.
24 something. or other, wasn't
24.56 grams.
it? There you go. So T's in at 2,460.
I'll get some nice. I can't even grab it. I'm trying to look. I'm using the
30 seconds left.
With the delay.
yeah, and my own delay.
Yeah. So T's winning at 2,460. Oh no, Warren Buffett just slid in at 2,500.
Oh, this is also a proof coin. This is not a bullion coin, so this is struck to a very high standard.
Yeah.
For those wondering at home.
Mel
if you're listening
Inquisitor,
on Spotify.
2510. Yeah, probably behind the 8 ball
All right.
on
Coming
Spotify.
in.
So 2,550 to Warren Buffett. And it's sold to Warren.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Yep. Nice. That's a good pickup.
I
Well
love
done,
it.
Warren.
Nah, don't worry, Warren. You don't outbid yourself, mate. You don't have to go to 26. You got it at 25.50, mate. Don't stress. All good.
Yeah, what a slam dunk.
So send us in an email on that one, mate, and we will
Beautiful.
sort out the invoice for you. All right, we have another, I believe. This one
He's
is
going back to back.
yeah.
All right, we've come this far.
This one's my fave, man.
Yeah, no, I can see why. Oh, this is super cool. Arguably even cooler than what we just saw.
Let's share it with the rest of the class.
Ta-da! 50 cent.
They there is I don't know why. I mean, it's probably why I like 50-cent pieces generally, but in pure gold, it just
Yeah.
I don't know. It just does me. I love it.
Yeah, the coat of arms just comes out so well.
Yeah.
And everything going on in the background as well. It comes together so nicely.
Yeah.
That is a very nice.
I think
design.
the epitome of the set is the 50 cent, which
Yeah.
is really unfortunate because it's the most gold,
The heaviest, yeah.
of the whole set, so it's the most expensive.
should
But I have
also-
to admit to having a few of those myself.
I need to clarify the scratches and scuffs that you're seeing. They are not on the coin. That's
No.
on the flip that we have it currently housed in. I will not take it out and handle it with my bare hands
Good
because
man.
it is a faux pas on a proof coin.
Yeah, well, you'd see me crying if you did.
Well, yeah, and it might also reduce, or who knows, it might enhance the collectability of it.
Well, it
Matt's
would have-
fingerprint.
I was going to say it would be a one of one. A gold 50-cent piece
Even
with
rarer.
Matt's thumbprint on it. So for somebody that asked in ounces, it's 1.08181715069044 ounces.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, easy.
That's right. What's spot on it, mate?
I've got that then starting at 3,240.
So 3,240 is the starting price on that one.
Once again, a total mintage of 450. So you're not going to see a whole lot of these out there on the market.
There we go.
Similarly, you once again have the Vladimir Gottwald portrait.
Now, I can't remember if this was a celebration set or if it was just a standard production set.
Ooh, 2010. You tested me.
I actually struggled to find. I could find some information on the 20. I actually struggled to find some information on this 50. There was a lot that were coming through that was a gold plated one, but this is a pure one, and so I actually had to take this one into the shop and very carefully weigh it, and that's what we're basing the weights off on that one.
Yeah, it is actually a proof, Dark Hearts. So Aussie Drop Bear's got it at the moment at 32.50, which I think was spot, wasn't it? Or very close to.
32.40 was spot. Like I said, I think this has just bred the culture of wait until the last second and see who.
So Greg Clark's in at 3,500.
Fun fact, also, I've just learned, this was the second ever appearance of the Vladimir Gottwald obverse. So it's not since the year 2000 for the royal visit had that portrait been used on a coin set.
Okay.
We're coming down to it.
Aussie Drop Bear's in at 35.50. We're coming down to the last bit, so if you want to bid now. 35.58, 36.
Oh, wow. Pip to the post.
Whoa. Smooth, mate. Very smooth.
Ta-da.
Oh, sorry, I moved that out right at the wrong second.
So, Metal Inquisitor, you pipped that one at the post. Really well done, mate. Really well done.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So, yeah. Good stuff. Alrighty, are we done or have we still got more to go?
There was one more. I wonder if we hold off on that one though. I wonder if
that could be for next week because people might want to see they could get amped up when they see the video over the weekend and it could relate to that.
Can I slide one in then?
Yeah, go on.
Just to complicate things a little more.
As long as it's not the one I'm wanting out of that bag. No, they're fine. Let's go for them. And I know this product because I've sold one of these before to someone who's now very close to the Bullion Now family. And
is this a dual? Is this a both or is this a 1-and-1?
No, you do both.
Double prizes. Here we go.
I want Michael to figure out the weights on this one.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to do it.
Yeah, no, because I know what these are.
Yeah. Do you want to give the burst and I'll work out the weight?
These are 1 grain of gold each. Not 1 gram, 1 grain. Which is a lot less. And let me do a quick Google here. How many grains in a
15
gram?
grains, almost 15 and a half grains in a gram.
That's it.
Let me hold this up so maybe it's visible.
So this is 0.1295 of a gram per card.
So what's spot on this? On these, rather. There's two of them.
No, that's not that. 0.129 is actually for both, not for one.
There you go. Are you able to figure out spot on that one?
I'm going to call it 0.13 grams just to make it easy for myself. And spot on that will be... I've got to go in grams.
You started at $10. Well, it's taken too long to figure out.
So it's 96.31 multiplied by 0.13. $12.50.
There you go.
So the starting bid on these will be $12.50.
All right. So now the question is, which of the ones that have already pre-bid are you taking it from? Or do we start at $12.50?
We're starting at $12.50. Alex is in at 30. So this is for the pair, not for one.
For Vaughn.
Let's see
so
if you
Vaughn's
can
in at 32.
Look at you go.
Oh, look at that.
You can actually see it.
Hands of a Jedi.
Look at you making Star Wars references.
No idea.
It's a bit too close
Now
for that
I'm
lens.
confused. Yeah, I can't work out my angles. There you go. It actually says something on it. I think it's got...
$40 from BJ.
It says something 24K.
That 50 is seconds remaining, not a bid.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm not bidding on that. That's just to give everyone a bit of a reference heads up of how far the lag is.
So Alex is at 45.
Two
Alex
whole
Mason.
grains.
2 whole grains.
This is
of
another
gold.
one of those interesting things that, someone pops over to your house and then you want to impress them with something a little out of the ordinary, have a look at these grains.
Yeah. So Alex is winning this. We're coming down to the last few seconds. So if you want to bid, jump in now. But Alex has got it at 45 at the moment. And we're counting down. Last couple of seconds. Gonna snort it. Great. And it's sold to Alex at $45.
Ta-da! Well done. You are the proud new owner of a couple of grains.
Good stuff. I reckon.
Wow, that was nice. That was felt a bit more efficient than last week.
Yeah. I think that was good. Obviously, there is still some issues with the variable delays. So if you have suggestions or whatever, feel free to let us know in the comments, and we can trial a few different things perhaps, and see what works well. I think definitely the addition of the timer made it a little bit better this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how we go. I like the idea of the live auctions. I wonder if we do one of these.
Oh yes, about time. What on though? What's the subject? Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get pinged for my capitalisation.
Even private school kids.
There you go. Incoming poll.
There we go.
You love to see it.
See what the people think.
Yes. Should we keep doing them or should we ditch it?
Because there's been a few things that have accumulated that we.
So we should start wrapping this up while that
really?
While that auction is running. I was trying to say poll and auction at the same time.
Well, that's it. There's a couple of things running. There's a couple of things, a little bit of housekeeping things we need to do because that's it. We're not going to be here next week.
Oh
We're
yeah.
SDI. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself here. SDI Customs asked a couple of times if it's possible to make an appointment to see me. It is possible. It's just incredibly difficult.
He's fleeing the country.
I'm out of the country for the next 2 weeks anyway. But even when I'm back here, we have, and I've said this several times on live streams or on different videos, we have 2 places currently that we operate out of, and I spread myself across both of them, and I'm pretty flat out in the meantime when I am there. So look, feel free to make an appointment to see me. The further ahead you want to book, the more chance you've got of actually, getting to see me, sort of thing. So just call the guys 1300 84 84 10. They may not be able to tell you straight away because the great Sylvia keeps my diary as a rule. But if they can't answer, or if you don't get Sylvia on the phone, she's not available. Absolutely. Sylvia will come up with a time and she'll be able to give you a call back and say, look, Michael's got available this time and this time on these days. So, when would you like to slot it in? So it is possible at the moment. Obviously, if people watch this and there's a flood of people asking for appointments with me, that may not be possible. But, drop us a line. We'll see what we can do. So I am going to the UK for the next 2 weeks. We won't be live next week at all because it's a public holiday in Victoria for...
We're going back to that, are we?
Watch the start of the video if you missed my rant on what this public holiday is about and why I think it's a waste of time. But we have a public holiday on the Friday. We still will be open on the Saturday, though. So if you're coming through on the Saturday, we will be open 9 till 1, I believe, isn't it, Ruben?
Yes.
On the Saturday, 9 till 1. If you happen to live in or be passing through the UK in the next 2 weeks, absolutely drop us an email, sales@bullionnow.com.au, or get in touch with the guys here, 1300 84 84 10, and let me know where you are. And if possible, I'm quite happy to have a bit of a unofficial Bullion Now meetup at various places throughout the UK, because I'm starting in London at a conference and I'm ending up in Edinburgh and stopping a lot of places in between for both work reasons and I have relatives over there as well. So I'll stop in and have a brunch with some of them. So feel free to drop us a line and I'll quite happily meet in a cafe or some such place or a pub. I love a good English pub.
Yep, very good.
Sometime over that fortnight. I'm also going to the Royal Mint to hopefully have a discussion about quality issues with them.
Hey.
Yeah, nice one. Are you going to make some videos while you're over there?
I'm certainly hoping to, if Ruben drags together a care package for me of equipment.
It'll be it's got to be a fairly compact kit, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, he should hopefully have a camera over there, so we'll see. I'm not going; it's just going to be Michael. So we'll see what kind of footage we can get out of it.
The whole thing might be recorded in selfie mode. You won't end up seeing anything
with my mobile, shaking away.
Yeah, like me trying to show off the coins.
But even if a lot of it isn't filmed, that's it. There's going to be some good conversations happening, and hopefully, we can see some results and see some things change in the industry. It'd be good.
And the live stream after next week, I'll be doing from either Edinburgh or Doha, whichever one, wherever we happen to be at the time. So yeah, it could be interesting times.
Absolutely. Another quick thing that I really quickly wanted to go past. We had someone this week send us through on Instagram a screenshot of Perth's. They put out their sales results for the 2022 to 2023 financial year with 23.19 billion in annual turnover and 52.67 million annual profit before tax. So yeah, I think they were wondering.
Government, they don't pay tax.
I think they were still that the person was still wondering if it was going to be within your grasp to buy that. I said you might have to clear out some of the ashtrays of.
Why do
you notice we're doing auctions?
I was going to say, why do you think I'm cleaning out the drawers of the desk at the moment? We're scratching it together. Absolutely, Perth. You want to unload? You want to unload the Perth Mint or the WA government? You want to unload the Perth Mint? 1300 84 84 10. Sales at bullionnow.com.au.
Grab a ticket, see if you can get a meeting.
We will absolutely have the conversation.
And on that, I think we need to draw it to a close. Got some cool stuff coming. We've got Matt visiting the library over the weekend coming out.
Yeah, that was huge.
We should have the runes coming up next week, those awesome UV looking ones. And keep an eye out after this for some of those XAG half ounces with a video coming next week.
What was the result of the poll?
On
which one?
The auction poll.
90, I think about 90% people saying it was a great idea and we should keep going. So
sounds like
89%.
89%.
So yeah, let's keep it up. Alrighty, we will leave it there, and we will not see you next week, but we will see you the week after that.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for watching. See ya.